What if Cody had not returned and been the guy to beat Roman Reigns? We are traveling into an alternate universe in which Cody was about to leave AEW, but Tony Khan was like, wait. Let me just add another zero to your salary. And Cody stayed. So if Cody had not come to WWE to finish his story, who would have it been? And I'll say this, the low-hanging fruit, the most obvious choice would have been The Rock. It seems like they were trying to do that anyways, and rumors are even that The Rock was kind of saying, hey, maybe I should pin the tribal chief. And I would definitely say I would not have liked that. Now, definitely, 100%, that would have been a stellar main event for last year, WrestleMania 40, but then I would have wanted Roman to win that match, because I definitely want to see that match, but I feel that Rock should not have been the guy to beat Roman Reigns. And the reason why is because we got very lucky, very blessed even, that we got so many appearances by The Rock last year, but that's a non-guarantee. You never know what you're going to get when it comes to The Rock's availability. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying it as just reality. And I don't want a champion that can't really show up. Now, he does great with his Instagram posts and his smack talk and all that stuff, but yeah, I don't see it. Plus, the fact is, well, he's not ever really coming back full-time. There's no world in which The Rock is going to be a full-time player in this, so I just don't want him to be the guy that beat Roman Reigns' long title run. Now, do I care if The Rock beats someone else for the title? No, I don't. I wouldn't mind if The Rock became champion for another month or two. I just didn't want him pinning Roman Reigns on a historic 1,316-day title run. So The Rock would not have been my pick. And disclaimer, I got this idea from this photo right here. I'll put it up. It basically asks, if Cody Rhodes had never returned, who should have dethroned Roman? So we're going to go over all of these people along with The Rock, and I'm going to add a couple more. John Cena, Sikoa. I'm adding to this list of, do I feel they should have been the guy to dethrone Roman? So in no particular order, though, I'm going to say the guy who I think should be the guy to dethrone Roman to last. No particular order. Let's go with Drew McIntyre. Okay, so Drew McIntyre, here's a tough one. Drew McIntyre would have been a solid pick as well. However, last year at this time, Drew had fallen into the, woe is me, everybody's out against me, I'm the only person that's right. Now, maybe we could have shifted it and we could have brought Drew back to the light, to the good side, but nah, I really don't think so. Drew right now, his character is literally the best it's ever been, and he'll get a title run in the future, and it would have been a great feather in his cap to be the guy who toppled Roman Reigns, but at this point, this would have been his second opportunity, and if they were going to give him the belt, they should have just done it at Clash of the Castle anyways, because it seemed like that was going to happen. All the momentum was on his side then. So yeah, to turn Drew McIntyre into a face to beat Roman would have destroyed this character work that Drew has really done. This character work that Drew has done now is going to last the test of times. People are going to look back and be like, Drew was a low-key MVP. I would say his current heel run is more important than him toppling Roman last year. He'll get the title again later on in his career. It's fine, but this heel work right now is going to leave a legacy for Drew, a standalone legacy that doesn't have nothing to do with the title, and that's what you want. You want to be able to have a legacy with the title and a legacy without the title, and that's what he's building right now, a legacy without. So I'm glad he wasn't the guy. And speaking of taking titles away from somebody, someone needs to take this title away from me, or maybe this one right here, or the two behind me. All you got to do to get the titles, though, is comment below and be a subscriber to the channel. So go ahead, subscribe. I know a lot of you, actually, if you look at my analytics, it shows that a lot of you watch the videos, which I'm very thankful for, but it shows also that a lot of you still aren't subscribed. So please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you know when a video comes up, and you'll get a chance to win a belt every time you comment. I have multiple replicas, all right? This is a cheap copy, but this is a real replica, but I have replicas of everything you see because I don't want to just keep throwing these around because the gems can get loose and whatnot. But I'm going to give it away for free, shipping everything, because I am trying to become a full full-time YouTuber. I want to quit the day job and just produce YouTube videos left and right every single day and stream for you beautiful people. I promise you, I'll be the best YouTuber you've ever seen if I can get to that point where I'm just focused 100% on your entertainment and these YouTube videos. But let's back up actually, because there was 2 points in the Bloodline saga when Roman had the title that I feel would have been good points right then and there to take a title off him. One was with Jey Uso. It seemed like a very logical choice based on the story that was presented that Jey Uso was going to be the guy who took it off. We could have done it at WrestleMania 40, or we could have definitely done it at the SummerSlam that was after WrestleMania 39. In that, the story started with Jey. Jey was the first recruit of the Bloodline, not including the wise man Paul Heyman. Jey Uso, he was a tag team guy that didn't have a tag team partner, and Roman Reigns brought him along. He didn't want to, but eventually he fell in line, and he just suffered abuse after abuse after abuse until he kind of was just brainwashed into serving the tribal chief, and yeah, that was that. But the fans kept wanting and waiting for Jey to come to his senses, and finally when he did, SummerSlam happened, and that could have been a good point for Jey to get the title. It would have made sense within the story that had been built. Yeah, Jey wasn't this huge main eventer like The Rock or Drew McIntyre, but they had built someone, and you could argue that building someone from the ground up was a great way to elevate and instantly make a champion credible. And Jey, he was, the storyline called for it. The storyline called for it, but they didn't pull the trigger. Now, do I feel they should have? They're going to treat Jey like they treated him since then, I definitely would have said no. And there is something to me that is like, yeah, Jey shouldn't have got it, because I don't know. I felt at the time he wasn't fully in his singles mode, and he still has to polish. I'm not saying that his in-ring work sucks, but I am saying it does need a little bit of polishing. And for him to be the guy to dethrone Roman, I don't know, that's a tough one. I'd probably say no, but I'm like 51% no and 49% yes. I could have definitely got on board the Jey train if they would have done it. If they would have pulled the trigger, even though I'm like, yeah, they shouldn't. If they had done it, I'd have been like, okay, they did, let's go. So I would have been happy with it. The other person who the storyline called for it was actually Sami Zayn. That storyline with Sami Zayn was amazing, and the tale they told that brought Sami Zayn from a guy who fought glorified stuntmen, at WrestleMania and was pinned by a giant mousetrap, rat trap, which I'm not saying anything bad about. That was an excellent, excellent match. But I'm just saying, from that to where he came in that 1 year to Elimination Chamber was an amazing story. Sami Zayn really brought out and fleshed out the characters of the Bloodline. When he turned on Roman, because he didn't want to completely kill Kevin Owens, it was a moment, right? And everything leading into Elimination Chamber, it was like the ultimate underdog story. This is what wrestling is all about. Unfortunately, though, the fact was, it was right before WrestleMania, and I don't know. I feel like if it hadn't happened before WrestleMania and maybe happened a month after WrestleMania or 2 months after WrestleMania, maybe Sami would have got it, because the storyline 100% called for it. Now, I know Sami's not like the toughest guy in the room. I'm just talking storyline wise, just like Jey Uso. That's a tag team guy, but the storyline built him up to a point where it was very like, yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this underdog beat Roman Reigns, beat the evil empire, and Sami was even more of an underdog in this case. So Sami winning at Elimination Chamber would have made sense. Now, would I have wanted it? Now, I probably would have wanted it the same way I wanted Cody winning WrestleMania 40, in that I wanted to see the moment. I wanted to see that surreal scene of Roman losing and the crowd just like going crazy. Sami Zayn was in his hometown. It would have been cool and amazing. However, now that I look back and I just have hindsight, it was the right call for Roman to win. However, the story made sense, and Sami definitely could have taken it. But I'm glad that Roman kept going. So now let's go back to who should have and people who didn't have opportunities necessarily. Jacob Fatu is on this list. Jacob Fatu would have been a complete rookie. We could say this though: what if Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 40, and then Roman won, and they built up Jacob throughout the entire year, this year, for Jacob then to fight Roman, who now had a longer title run than even Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 41, and that's where Jacob Fatu and Roman went at it. I don't know. I like Jacob as this heel, this monster, this crazy man, and I feel if he had come in as a face, it would have been different. Could he have still pulled it off? Maybe. Probably, but maybe not to the effect that he is now. I don't see Jacob because he would have been too new, too much of a rookie in the WWE system. So Jacob Fatu, I would not have put on this list. What about Solo throating Roman? It would make sense in this universe. It would make sense in this universe, but we're in a universe in which Cody never showed up. Therefore, Solo would never had a reason to ever fight Roman Reigns. His tribal chief was a powerful tribal chief that he wanted to follow into battle, and well, Roman doesn't lose to Cody, therefore there's no beef between him and Solo. Him and Solo never had beef whatsoever. Maybe there was like a one or two like side glances, but that's about it. So Solo never would have been in a position to really want to fight Roman. Now they could have started an angle like they did with Sami and Jey, but that would have taken a long time, and I would have wanted the belt to come off Roman before then. So Solo Sikoa, I would not have chosen either because the storyline and where he was positioned just wouldn't call for it. Gunther. So we're living in a world right now in which Gunther is still the ring general. He never lost his aura. In fact, he's still even the Intercontinental Champion because we're going back before WrestleMania 40. So would Gunther have been the right choice? And yes and no. On a story level or a character level, yes, you needed someone powerful and someone who's going to have longevity and someone who's believable to beat the tribal chief. And Gunther definitely would have been that guy. However, I did not want a villain to beat Roman Reigns because you know what? That end scene at WrestleMania 40 when everybody is just cheering, that was amazing. That was awesome. We would have needed that as well. And Gunther would have just been standing there proud with the fireworks. You know what I mean? It would have been a great moment, a great visual, but it wouldn't have been the Ewoks celebrating the fall of the Empire. That's what we needed. We needed a giant celebration of everybody just feeling good. And Gunther wouldn't have provided that, being that he was a villain. We would have had villain versus villain, or Gunther would have forced Roman to be the good guy because at the time Gunther was like the unstoppable menace. He was the final boss of the mid card, just like Roman was the final boss of WWE, the main event scene. And yeah, it wouldn't have played out great after. It would have played out great after, but Gunther would have been credible. He would have been a good choice to be the guy who toppled Roman. Brock Lesnar would have been incredible, but God, I'm done. I'm just done watching those two fight. I don't know. How many times have they main evented WrestleMania? I believe it's like 3 times, and they main evented SummerSlam, and they main evented this and that, and sometimes trilogies of matches are awesome. I mean, you got Rock and Austin. That was an amazing trilogy. And you have others. Triple H and Undertaker was a trilogy. Here's a hot take. I actually like their first WrestleMania match way more than their other 2 WrestleMania matches. Everyone says that H and Undertaker Hell in the Cell was the greatest match of all time. Not to me. Not to me. I actually like their first one during the Ruthless Aggression when he was Biker Taker, believe it or not. I digress. That's Bunny Trail right there. Where was I talking to you about? Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar and Roman, they perform well, but I don't know. I just don't care about their feud. I just don't care when they feud with each other. And they've had some good moments, but again, I don't know. don't care. And for Brock Lesnar to come in, I'm seen it. I've seen it too many times. Brock Lesnar just coming in and mopping the floor with everybody and ending title reigns. And it's because he's Brock Lesnar and he's so credible. But I no, I'm done. Brock Lesnar, you took my Undertaker streak. You took my Kofi title reign. You took my Big E title reign. You're not taking my Roman title reign. I just don't want to see it. I just was never really that interested in your feud, their matches. I watched them. I enjoyed them even, but never really got me to that point where I'm like, wow, this is Hogan and Macho Man levels of heat. This is Punk Drew levels of heat. Nah, I never really felt that. So when your matches were done, I'll just like move it on. And nah, I don't want to see that. I didn't want to see that. I would rather the rub go to someone who could use it more. And Brock, he doesn't need a rub like that. He's fine. Two more on the list and two more that I'm going to add myself. Let's go with John Cena next. John Cena kind of falls in the same category of The Rock. He's just super busy, uber busy. I guess, though, now that we know that he has 1 year left, we should say that maybe they could have held off. They could have had The Rock versus Roman at 40, gave Roman another year, and then at WrestleMania 41, John Cena is the guy who dethrones him. But, I don't want that. It'd be a great thing for John Cena. And John Cena, as a person, as a company man, he probably deserves something like that. Such a great, grandiose moment. But at the same time, I don't want to see that. Again, just like The Rock, even like Brock Lesnar, I don't think they needed it. I'd rather give it to someone who could use it, who maybe they don't need it, but they could use it to their benefit, and they can use it to create stories, and they can use it to elevate themselves. Even if they're already a main eventer, they can use it to just, I don't know, propel themselves even more so. Drew McIntyre could have used it to propel himself even more so, but I've already explained why I didn't want Drew. And then we got John Cena also, he's just, to be the guy who just comes in and beats Roman and it's John Cena, it would just remind me too much of Super Cena days. It's just the days of Super Cena. And I love John Cena now. There was a time when I did not love John Cena, but that doesn't factor into this. I would like John Cena to get a giant moment, but not as the guy who dethrones the longest title reign of the modern era. And I just don't want to be reminded of Super Cena. Those weren't the best days of WWE. We love Cena, but like, go back to 2010 when John Cena was mopping the floors. Anyway, I don't need it. I don't need to be reminded of it. Let's just say John Cena would deserve that moment, but that moment should go to somebody else. Can we say that at least? All right. Moving on, we'll go to CM Punk next. CM Punk, CM Punk's a funny case because he kind of doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He's already established. He's a great main eventer, but unlike Cena and The Rock and even Brock Lesnar, CM Punk is on a little more full-time schedule. He's not on a full-time schedule. He's not doing like the house circuit and stuff, but he does appear a lot. And I believe if he was champion, he would make a point to appear even more. I believe this run is all about righting wrongs, building the future, and main eventing WrestleMania. And he could have done all that here. And it seems like this year they're even leading to Punk versus Roman Reigns, but without the title. If CM Punk had been the right guy to dethrone Roman, I would say no, because it would have been great. There would have been great promos and stuff, and he was in the company. They could have definitely done it. We could have done a Royal Rumble win, and he picks the tribal chief. I just don't know, though. I don't see it. And he is kind of injury prone, but he is showing now that might have been just a fluke. I just would not have liked it. Although would I have liked it? I don't know. That's a tough one. Now that I'm thinking about it, because they would have had epic mic battles. You could have used Paul Heyman in the mix. The storyline could have called for it. It would have been, honestly, CM Punk would have been a better insertion than Cody Rhodes based on the history with Roman. At first, I was saying no, I wouldn't have wanted Punk to be the guy to do it. But now I'm thinking maybe. I'm thinking Punk might have been a solid choice, other than the fact that he's kind of up there, and it would have been nicer to give it to someone who's a little younger, who's a little more of the face of the company. But this iteration of CM Punk, I'm going to actually say this would have been a good choice. However, I think there's still one more better choice than CM Punk, but somebody would have to do it. This would have been a decent choice. The main thing that I don't like about Punk is that he's at the tail end of his career, and I would like to give it to someone in the middle of their career or at the more beginning stages of their career and get somebody over. So CM Punk, though, I could see. I would be happier if I had to choose between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar. I'd pick CM Punk. Now, if I had to pick between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, I would again probably go Punk. Okay, well, that was not expected. I kind of talked myself into CM Punk, actually, right then and there. But there's somebody who I would want even more so than CM Punk, and that is, I'm adding him to the list, Tunga Loa. Tunga Loa is he is a member of the bloodline and just like the true GOAT. I thought I should keep that going longer. Tunga Loa, though, just imagine if he's the guy. He comes out of nowhere and he botches his way into the main event of WrestleMania and he pins the tribal chief. No, but seriously, the person who I think would be best is Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, I feel, would have been the best choice, and I probably wouldn't have thought that until last year when Seth Rollins revealed how much he felt responsible for the creation of Roman Reigns, and he did create Roman. I mean, there's a lot more factors into it, don't get me wrong, but he's the guy that pulled the initial trigger and broke apart the Shield by slamming a chair into Roman's back, and that story played out. They did have a match even at Royal Rumble in which Seth Rollins actually won by disqualification. He had got into Roman's head so much, we could have played that up. That could have been a Macho versus Hogan type of feud. We could have really dived deep into this, and it could have been very, very personal based on 10 years of history. And Seth Rollins, he's credible. He's a main eventer. The story could have worked. I think that everything aligned with Seth Rollins in that we could have had the story working. He's in the middle of his career, at the peak of his career. He's credible. He's believable. He has a history with Roman. It seems like that was the choice. I think I would have gone with Seth freaking Rollins. I believe that he's a great company man. I believe they would have put all of their faith in Seth Rollins. I don't think they would have put all their faith in Jey Uso. So I think Seth Rollins could have had the stronger run after. Plus, he's proven to elevate titles. So somebody had to follow Roman, and it was difficult, very difficult to follow Roman. Who could do it? Cody Rhodes, I believe he's been okay, but like, has he set the world on fire? And you can say all day long, it's booking, but I don't know. Damian Priest had a very strong title run. You know what I'm saying? Seth Rollins had a very strong title run with the world title. Maybe Seth could have been the guy who was able to carry the burden of following Roman Reigns, because make no mistake about it, beating Roman was a moment, but it was also a burden that you would have to overcome, an obstacle that you have to overcome in order to prove that you can follow that great of a champion. And I think Seth Rollins could have done it. And on top of the fact that the storyline would have called for it, he would have been there every week. He would have showed up with pride, because Cody says he wants the John Cena schedule, but Seth Rollins has actually been doing the John Cena schedule. And so, yeah, I would have to say, if not Tunga Loa, I would have to go with Seth Rollins. But no, for real, my top three choices, I guess, would have been Jey Uso, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins would have been my main guy, and they would have definitely drawn on their Shield history. So what do you think? If Cody had not showed up, if Cody was still in AEW, fighting for the TNT title, who would you pick to be the guy to dethrone Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, at the height of his power, whether or not it was WrestleMania 40 or even 41? Let me know in the comments below. That'll also give you a chance to win the title. And guys, girls, have yourselves a great day. And Roman Reigns, we acknowledge you.